Shalom, this is Gamali Olive, a great millstone in Atlanta. When I give all praises to YAHAWAH, BAHASHAM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM, Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom to the Akim pushing out this truth and sincerity. All right, this is a quick lesson, and this is going to be entitled, We Should Have Never Been Exposed to Wickedness. All right, and this is a topic that I had been brainstorming over. And, there's certain things that, our flesh tends to, I guess, take a liking to, that we should have never had been exposed to in the first place. And all of us, whether all of our experiences, all of our lives, we've been, we've gone off. Okay, we had gone off. Okay, some of us grew up eating pork. Some of us grew up, just different. I mean, different things that where Jake would go off. Oh, celebrating Christmas, celebrating birthdays, and all those things. The flesh enjoys it. The flesh does enjoy, to put it plainly, the flesh does enjoy pork. The flesh does enjoy birthdays and gifts and Christmas. The flesh does enjoy even women, being over the man, and modern women not having to be in the traditional role under the man. That feels good for them to be over them. That feels good to them. That pleases their flesh. But there's certain things that we should have just never been exposed to. Otherwise, we wouldn't know wickedness. But it's necessary. It was necessary that we know wickedness. All right, because that would help us understand better and appreciate righteousness. All right. But and also put it would put a spirit of penitence in us, because that's the point of repenting. It'd make us humble, because we realize that, damn, what, we did a lot of things that were off, and see, this world is all about pleasing the flesh. That's why it's wicked. It feels good to go, go get a fresh lineup, and these are all things that are unlawful to do. But the flesh, it pleases your flesh. But there's a saying that you don't know what you don't know. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. You have kids that grew up celebrating Christmas. And then, once they learn the truth, or, maybe their parents learn the truth and they can no longer celebrate Christmas. Now they're sad because they're like, oh man, whatever. But they should have never been exposed to it in the first place. So we should have never been exposed to it in the first place. But like I said, it was all necessary. It was all a part. It's all the will of YAHAWASHI ultimately. It's all the will of the Heavenly Father. It's all according to His plan. Because we went off as a people, and this is the process of us. We're going through the process. The ones that of the elect, they're going through the process of making it right. All right, Isaiah 53:6. It says, all we like sheep have gone astray. We have turned everyone to his own way, and the Lord hath laid on him the iniquity of us all. Okay? So, yeah, we've gone astray. Okay? We've all gone astray. We've all turned everyone our own way. You know? And so the Lord punished us for that. But we should have never known wickedness. You know, we should have never been exposed to that. Because it was all, through the laws are made perfect, and through the laws, we obtain life and peace. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find that. I think that's Romans 8. I'll get Romans 8. Romans 8 and 6, for to be carnally minded is death, but to be spiritually minded is life and peace. All right? And to be spiritually minded is to be concerned with the Heavenly Father and his laws and and being obedient. Jeremiah 4 and 22, for my people is foolish, they have not known me. They are sottish children. They have none understanding. They are wise to do evil, but to do good they have no knowledge. Yeah, so, we're wise as a people. Israel is wise to do evil. Okay? We've been exposed to it. We've been exposed to it. And so that's how we know. If we were never exposed to evil, we would never know it. You would never know about going off. But ultimately, the Lord, allowed Satan to pursuant to Job 9:24, he gave Satan, he gave the devil, the earth. Okay, so it's Satan's job to throw every throw off the righteous from their path. Now it says, it's another one. It says, and this is in Exodus, so this is dealing with the Lord delivering us from Egypt. Exodus 23 and 30. Matter of fact, I'll start 29. And they shall deal with thee hatefully, and take away all thy labor, and shall leave thee naked and bare, talking about Israel. And the nakedness of thine whoredoms shall be discovered, both lewdness and thy whoredoms. Verse 30, I will do these things unto thee, because thou hast gone a whoring after the heathen, because thou art polluted with their idols. That's ultimately what Israel had a pattern of doing, is, going whoring after the idols, going a whoring after the heathen. We were not intended. We were only intended to serve YAHAWASHI and keep his commandments and only serve the Heavenly Father. But Israel went off. Verse 6, this is Wisdom of Solomon 6. All right, it says, and this is dealing with the subject of wisdom. Wisdom of Solomon 6 and 17 says, for the very true beginning of her is the desire for discipline, and the care of discipline is love. Here's the point. And love is the keeping of her laws, and the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of corruption. So yeah, love is keeping the laws. Okay. And it says, giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. So that's how we become incorrupt. It's through, ultimately now it's through faith. We're saved by grace through faith. But the law is still perfect. But we won't perfect the law until it's written in our inward parts, pursuant to Jeremiah 31 and 33. You know, that's ultimately why YAHAWASHI is going to write it on our inward parts. All right, we're going to be made perfect and made whole through the new covenant. Because the old covenant, we fell short. We're stuck in these chains of darkness. All right, and this flesh, you know, it is corrupt. It just wants to please you. It wants to lead you down a destructive path. All right, every time. That's what the flesh wants. You know, and there's plenty of things that feels good to the flesh, but we just read that to be carnally minded is death. So we have to be spiritual. Although we're in this flesh, we have to be spiritually minded and be focused on serving Yahweh Shem Shai and focused on his mercy and praying and you know, asking that the Lord will keep us and keep, you know, evil away from us. It says, "In corruption maketh us near unto Yahweh. Incorruption maketh us near unto Yahweh." Yeah, so that's what makes us near unto Yahweh Shem Shai. Is incorruption, and it said, keeping of her laws and giving heed unto her laws. All right. So that's pretty much the point. You know, like I said, I just wanted to touch on that, is that, you know, we were never originally intended, you know, I'll say we should have never known unrighteousness, you know, but through us knowing unrighteousness, we're able to appreciate righteousness, and it's all through the will of Yahweh Shem Shai. It's all according to his plan, you know. But ultimately, his laws were made perfect. Okay? All right, so with that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Shai, Bashim Kakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of the great millstone. Shalom.